Hey, how's it going, everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to go ahead and set up WakeOnLAN. Now, the beautiful thing about WakeOnLAN is that, let's just say you have a computer that's, let's just say, in a different room, or it's in a location that is a little bit hard to go ahead and just hit that pesky, power button. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how you could go ahead and configure WakeOnLAN on a set computer, and then how to go ahead and send out that signal via using two methods. One of them is going to be a regular cell phone, so technically something that everybody has. And then another way that I'm going to show you is also how you could go ahead and do that on an actual computer. So the computer I'm going to go ahead and show you this little tutorial on is going to be this Dell 990. So with this one, I know for a fact I need to go into the BIOS and I need to go ahead and enable WakeOnLAN. Now, depending on the manufacturer, you might have to go into the BIOS. Some of them, technically the NIC cards already have kind of like the WakeOnLAN already enabled. So all you got to do is just basically configure it, send out the signal, and it'll go ahead and turn on. First thing I'm going to go ahead and do is actually enable WakeOnLAN on this computer. So let me go ahead and show you how I do this. Now, I should say this. This WakeOnLAN will only work for computers that are actually connected hardwired into the network. If you're trying to do this with a PC that is connected to a Wi-Fi, that will not work. All right, so let me go ahead and show you. So I got my system all wired, so it's hardwired right now. Of course, all necessary cables are connected. Now, once I hit the power button, I already know I have to hit F12. Now, like I said, depending on your manufacturer for the PC, it might be a different key. So let's go ahead and turn it on. And I'm just going to start hitting F12. And there we go. So you can actually see that I'm already in BIOS. So first thing I need to do is I need to go into BIOS setup. Hit enter. Once I'm in here, I need to go right ahead and go into power management. So click on that. Let's go ahead and expand that. And you can actually see at the very bottom, we have WakeOnLAN. Let's go ahead and click on it. Right now it's disabled. So let me go right ahead and enable it. So we're just going to do LAN only. Let's hit apply. So now we're going to go ahead and hit exit. This will actually basically restart the actual computer and actually boot into Windows. Alrighty, now that the computer is actually back up and running, we need to go ahead and grab the MAC address out of it. So let me go ahead and show you how you can do this on a Windows computer. Okay, so now that we're on the actual desktop itself, let's go ahead and open up a command line. So the way that I usually do it is I just hit the Windows button and then at the same time I hit R. Next thing you're going to want to do is type in the letter CMD and then we're going to hit enter. At this point you can actually see my command line. So now what we need to do is type in this command and it's ipconfig /all. Hit enter. Now, at this point, you're going to notice that there's a lot of information that this computer is actually giving you. But what we're looking for is actually, let me go ahead and show you, is the physical address right here. So as you can see right here, that would be the physical address for that machine. Go right ahead and write that address down because we're going to go ahead and need it for the next step. Now that we have the MAC address, let's go ahead and actually set up WakeOnLAN on the actual smartphone to go ahead and send out the signal. Now, the application I use is WOL on. Now, I know that this is in the Play Store. I'm not entirely sure if it is on the actual Apple Store. Now that the program is actually on, let's go ahead and add that computer. So we're going to click on the plus button. And we're going to click on this option right here, which would be the network. Device name, I'm just going to go right ahead and just name it Dell. The MAC address would be the MAC address that we just got via the ipconfig all command. So I'm going to go ahead and add it right now. Okay, so before we continue, you're going to probably notice that the MAC address that I entered is a different MAC address from what I actually showed you. Now, unfortunately, with this computer for this Dell that I actually have a different software that isn't Windows based, and it's actually like kind of like a little virtual, I guess it's not really a virtual, but it's more of a like video game emulator. I do have a video for that, so if you want to go ahead and check that out and want to learn how you can basically run, old, Nintendo games and, Sega games and whatnot, it's like, go check that out. So that's why it's just a little bit different. So FYI on that one. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and do the broadcast. So the broadcast, all we got to do, as long as we're connected to Wi-Fi on our network, all we got to do is just basically click on it, and I believe it automatically discovers what the broadcast address is. So this would be your network address, and then at the end it would be 255. So the next step for the status check IP host name, I leave that blank. I don't need it. Select port, just basically leave it at 9. And at this point, you could go ahead and hit save. So we have that entry already there. Now let's go ahead and see what happens when I actually click on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and basically bring this up a little bit more. Alrighty, so now that we have this computer, and as you can see, it's off. So this is a status button right here. Power on and off button. So all we got to do now is just basically just click on it. So as soon as we click on it, you notice that the computer's turning on. Everything's starting to load up. So, okay, so this is one way to do it on your actual cell phone. I should reiterate that you do need to go ahead and, be connected to your network. You can't be outside of your network for this to work. So just make sure that you're connected to your local Wi-Fi. Okay, so now second way you could go ahead and do this on a different computer. So here we have this program called WakeOnLAN. So I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description where you could go ahead and download this software. It is for free. So let's go ahead and basically open this software up. Once you have this software up, most likely I think it's going to ask you for, for an IP range. So here, let me go ahead and show you. So unfortunately with this one, it doesn't really show, but all you got to do is just go to tools and then search for machine. Alrighty, so on this portion, you could go ahead and actually put your network address. So let's just say for mine here, and I'll show you. So it would be 192.168.24. And then technically, if I want to do a complete ping sweep, I could just basically do, I could do 24.1. And then on here, for the ending address, it would be, let me go back here, it would be 254. So, you could go ahead and set this up on yours. So let's say if your network address is 192.168.1 or 0, and then all you got to do is just the last portion would be 1, and then for the ending, it would be 254. Now, the way you can actually find this, and I'll show you. So we're going to go back into the command line, and if we type in ipconfig, hit enter, you'll actually notice that there is an IPv4 address right here. And you can actually see that it starts with 192.168.24. And then the last one would be my IP address. So like I said, if you want to do a complete ping sweep, unless, you actually know the IP address of this machine and you just want to type it in, you could go ahead and do so. And that's exactly what I'm going to do on this one. So I already know it's 26 and then 126. Go ahead and basically do, I forgot to turn it on, so make sure that is on before you do this begin search. Now that the computer is on, let's go ahead and do a search. So let's go ahead and begin search. It should take a couple of seconds to go ahead and, notify exactly what machine it is, and here it is. So we do have the machine name, and just like on the actual phone, we have that MAC address as well as the IP address. Here, let's go ahead and, okay, we're going to select it, hit OK. And now we have this entry right here. So it shows that the host is on. Well, let me go ahead and turn that off. Now, here, let me see if I can bring this a little bit closer. Alrighty, so we just noticed that the host is off, so it actually knows that this is no longer pingable. Let's go ahead and send that signal right now. So let's go ahead and right click on it, and let's do wake up. So let's go ahead and send out the signal and see what happens. There it is. It's starting to turn back on. So that is the other way that you could go right ahead and set up WakeOnLAN on an actual desktop computer. Alrighty, everybody. Well, let me go ahead and give you additional information on how I use it. So, you know, in my bedroom, I do have a gaming PC. And sometimes, you know, it's like, all right, it's like, you know, I don't want to get up and just hit the power button. So, you know, if I'm like in, you know, just chilling in my bed, and I'm like, you know what, let me go ahead and just basically turn on my computer. I go ahead and basically use that application on my phone, and I just send the signal over. The beautiful thing is, once you add it to the list, it stays saved. So you could just basically just click on, you know, that machine that you're trying to load up, and it'll turn on without you actually having to get out of bed or, you know, actually go to the other room and turning on a computer on. Now, I did have one of my cousins that, you know, I told him about how to set up WakeOnLAN because his setup was a little bit different. His was more, his PC was on top of like, like a piece of furniture in the living room, like way up on top. And every time he needed to go ahead and turn on that computer, he would have to go get, you know, some sort of chair to go ahead and, you know, get up there and turn on the power button. And I was telling him, as I dude, is like, why don't you just set up WakeOnLAN and, you know, basically just save yourself from the hassle of trying to get a stepping stool or a chair to get up there and just hit that button. So, you know, technically that's, you know, how I personally use it. And, you know, it's like, depending on your situation, it's like, I hope this information helps you out. Alrighty, everybody. Well, that is the end of this little tutorial. I really do hope that you enjoyed it and, you know, you enjoyed the content. Thank you for tuning in. You know, first of all, it's like, I really do appreciate it. And, yeah, it's like always, we will catch you on the next one.